Om Shanti. Baba doesn't tell us just to keep silent, but also how silence is transformative. That the silence that the soul needs to go into, the silence that the soul needs to practice, is that silence which catches, which tunes in to the energy of the soul, of the self, and of course the energy of Baba. And it is that silence that then starts to really transform the soul very deeply. There are many levels of silence, many aspects to silence. But while we're here in these few hours, and probably whilst we're in Madhuban, the silence that is probably most valuable to practice is the silence that is incorporeal, the incorporeal silence. The silence where I dissolve things, I open up, and I absorb what Baba is giving to the soul. So how do I begin? How to begin to be soul conscious? We hear every day in the Muli, consider yourself to be a soul. And until this becomes a very deep, personal and silent experience, then I will find it, with time, I will find it boring. But what does it mean to take the first step into soul consciousness, to be really, really silent? We are very used to using our mind, our intellect and our sanskars a lot. Thinking, understanding, expressing. And the first step in soul-conscious silence to become incorporeal is let I, the soul, step away from these three things. From thoughts, creating a lot of thoughts, but we like ideas, so we create thoughts. Understanding, we like to go into things, analyze things. Expressing, we want to be able to show our emotions or our feelings. But in the incorporeal silence, I go beyond those three things and just become a point and nature of complete peace. And this is called the state of awareness. I am aware that I exist, but I do not create thoughts. I don't go into the trying to understand it, not whilst I'm in meditation, in deep meditation. And this all is actually a matter of very deep practice, just to collect my energy, focus on the center of my forehead, and be very still. Very still. I, the soul. How long does it take? Yes, we probably need a thought, but in that thought becomes the jump into a state of awareness. For example, I may be creating many thoughts. I am a soul, I am peaceful, I'm a point. But the idea is that I may have a thought or two, but then I hold it, and then I just become conscious that I exist as a soul, and go into very, very, very deep peace. This is the incorporeal silence. Well, the second step of incorporeal silence is this detachment from myself. You've often heard Daddy and Baba speak of going beyond your nature, sanskars, and personality. And sometimes people ask, how is this possible to go beyond my nature, my sanskars, my personality? Because these are all connected with, sanskars and thinking and intellect. It's when I connect with my original self, particularly the quality of just being peaceful. And so making that connection with I, the soul, my original quality, my original form, I go beyond. Often you hear this term used by Baba a lot, just go beyond. But what does it mean to go beyond? Because I'm always stuck here. I am in action. But at the time of meditation especially, it's a very good opportunity to go beyond. And going beyond is, yes, first of all, detaching from this personality and nature and connecting with the eternal reality of the self, of being just that soul. And then going home, to go home. Just a second, one thought and just 1 second. Should not take long. But to do this in one thought, in 1 second, I do have to practice. This is what makes us different in terms of the spiritual power we have and hold. Because this is not so much knowledge as actual practice. And because the soul does get careless or lazy in practice, it cannot empower itself even though it has the knowledge. So going home. And in that home, I experience that world of liberation. I have returned to my eternity. I have returned to my liberated state. I am there. And this is where the consciousness, the original consciousness is, I am. Not I was, I will be, I am. Where am I? I am there. I'm in the home. And this is not imagination, this is not a visualization, this is reality. And I use my thought to go there, and then I get into that state of awareness. This is all very subtle. And the problem is with the subtle is that if there's any interference, it can quickly dissolve. And this is why I have to keep practicing. The subtle comes not just from having the knowledge, it comes from the practice and the refining. When you see a ballet dancer, she does certain steps in a second, in 2 seconds. Makes a jump, twirls in a second, 2 seconds. But she has practiced for many, 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 many hours to get that right. And it's the same here. Baba often speaks of this. Often in Sakha Mulis, in Avyat Mulis, 1 second, not even a minute. 1 second, one thought. And what stayed in my consciousness is in the last Muli Baba said, everything depends on the second, everything is second. And he said, don't take this lightly. So when we say experiment in yoga, yes, it is the experiment where we get the experience, but also speed. The constant experimentation and practice makes the soul very strong. So at a time of great chaos and peacelessness, it's able to perform according to its role as Brahman, that is, bestower of mercy, bestower of peace. But this takes practice. We practice together in experimentation, but also we have to practice alone. And so there's this whole day today, whether it's at lunchtime eating in silence, whether it's in the afternoon walking, in the evening, it's just this practice of becoming incorporeal, bodiless. Again, how many times have I heard it? And then let me compare it. How many times have I felt it? Because this bodiless incorporeal practice, this is what gives the soul the subtle power, which is not useful just for the future, but it's useful now. If I'm in a situation of chaos or bad feeling in relationship, how quickly can I move? Or does my intellect get engaged? Do my mind go into expansion? I have the awareness, this is not useful, and immediately I go in, become incorporeal, and become a bestower of peace in that situation. So one thought, 1 second, going beyond, going to the home. This is where I came from, home. This is the residence of my beloved father and mother. This is the residence of my whole family, my brother souls. Connecting with the home, I connect with the pure land. And in this pure connection, that is when there is rejuvenation and recharging of the soul. It's gotten unstuck, it's unplugged itself from all the sockets, here on the earth. Relationships, time, nature, and then the vices of ego, especially attachments, many sockets here, and they're all taking the energy of the soul. Becoming corporeal, I unplug, go home. Home. Sweet home. The land of sweet silence. And say again, I'm saying these words now, but actually, if I have the awareness of the home, the sweetness of the home, the power of the home, then I don't need these words. We use these words because we have to describe something. We need descriptions. And in the home, this is where I make the connection. The connection with the one who is eternally there for me, whether as I am a child, whether I'm a student, a server. But even then, I don't have to go I know enough about Baba. I don't have to go into many thoughts, descriptions. I just plug in. I just connect. You know, when there's very deep love, there's very deep understanding, you don't need words, do you? You don't need thoughts, too many thoughts. Just awareness, presence. So traffic control also is, we are constantly experimenting. So could I watch my thought? How long did it take? Because a part of experimentation and practice that I do during the day is, for example, whether it's a difficult situation and I have to really go in, whether it's traffic control and I have to go in and go up, I can observe how long it takes. How long did it take to really just get into that thought, I am a soul. Usually it takes about 5 seconds. I am a peaceful soul. Depends, peaceful in some languages is shorter, so it may take a bit less, but usually it's about a 5-second exercise, or, I am a peaceful soul. And I experiment with that during the day. I am a peaceful soul. And I've got to say it not with my intellect, but with my awareness. It's a very big difference. Not just think it with my thoughts, but also with my awareness. And if I practice that, I am a peaceful soul with deep awareness, because sometimes we think we're practicing an experiment, but it's very superficial. So then it doesn't attract me. When something is superficial, after a while it doesn't attract because there's not the real experience. And we did it once with a group of souls during a retreat. The 5-second exercise, practice it 15 times during the day. The next day 20 times. The next day got it down to 4 seconds. I am a soul. I am that eternal being. I am a soul. And that was practiced about 25 times. Anyway, finally we got down to 1 second. I the soul, or I soul. Om Shanti. Om Shanti is about a second. So these little reminders that Baba is constantly giving us, they're very subtle but so powerful. But they're so subtle that the intellect sometimes doesn't get it. And although sometimes certainly explanation is needed, but also I have to not get too lost in explanations and just go back to the subtle direction that Baba is giving in order to become really soul conscious. So this we can call it experimentation, we can call it practicing, we can call it self-training, whatever we like. But this is what Brahma Baba did, this is what Mama did. This is how they became strong. They practiced over and over again the basic essences. And that gave them such a power inside that their intellect became very clear. And it then will help a lot in actions that I have to perform. clarity, quick, accurate discernment. All these things will come if the incorporeal practice and the connection with the incorporeal is there. That's why sometimes we get tired of classes, we say, about these things. But when we have experience, we'll never get tired. Pure experience never bores the soul, never tires the soul. Pure experience, genuine experience, keeps me enthusiastic. It keeps me full of faith. So this home, and in the home, the eternal friend, the Father, the light, love, whatever I wish to choose. So I think we can now, for the next half hour or more, practice this incorporeal exercise, coming in, going up, the home, the Father. So there'll be a bit of commentary, but then just silence, and then see how far one is able to stay in that awareness, in that consciousness. So just sit comfortably. I become still. I collect the energy of my thoughts. I try to hold one thought, just one thought. I turn inwards, holding this one thought. The thought of my genuine self, my true self, my eternal self. I, the soul. I go deeper into the silence. I detach from nature, from my sanskars, from what I call this personality. And I begin to feel my eternal self as I step away from movement of my thoughts, the movement of my understanding, and I just tune in to what I truly am. I am a soul. I am a peaceful being. I remain in this awareness. I am a soul, peaceful, quiet, a point, just a point in the middle of this forehead. I glow. I am light. A point. I remain in a deep serenity, in the deepest peace. I am a soul. And with one thought, one determined and loving thought, in 1 second, I go beyond. I move, I fly beyond this body, time, matter, the other actors. I go beyond this corporeal life and I come home. Home. The world of eternal freedom. I've come back again. Home. I remember. I remember this pure land. This land of liberation and light. This land of eternal silence. I remember. I've been here before. This is home for me and for all the actors in the play down below. They must all come here. To their home. I remain here. I feel free. And I remember my original purity. I am pure. Eternally, I belong here to the home. Still, a very still light, an orange light. Still. Pure, a peaceful light. I feel at one with myself. Let me remain. In this freedom, in this light. In this stillness, light, and stillness, freedom. There is no past here, no past. Everything's gone. I'm free. I'm in this world of eternity where there's only purity. And peace. The past is gone. I am here in my home, in my pure state. Free. Peaceful and eternal. Eternal. Home. My home. My golden red home. And in my home, I see another light. A light, gentle, soft, powerful, a stable light, radiating light in the home. I feel this light is welcoming me, inviting me to come closer and closer. And I move closer and closer to that light. And I remember. I remember you, my Father, Baba, the Silent One. The Loving One. The Compassionate One. I remember you, and you also remember me. The long lost and now found child. I've come back to our home. Baba, I am here with you, absorbed in your welcoming light. I feel so free. There's only eternity, and we exist together in eternity. No past, no past, and even no future in the home, only the present. You and me. In the eternal present, beyond time. Baba, Father, you and me. And I begin to feel my brother souls are remembering you also. And they are returning also to our home. And they also feel this bond of you and me. Each one feels this. Each of us remembers you with love. We belong in this eternity, no separation, no separation. The Father, each child, and the whole family. Home. I'm so happy to be home again after so many lives. Home with you and with them, my brothers. My brother souls. Peace. Divine peace. Unity. Complete unity. And purity. In eternity, there's only purity, natural purity, natural connection. Father, Baba, let me remain here. I am here forever with you. Forever with you. it isn't the home that we experience. Very, very deeply. The significance and the eternity of Om Shanti. Being in the home, being in the consciousness of this companionship, of this relationship, of this friendship. The soul feels this is the most fulfilling experience. Because the most fulfilling experience is when the soul really goes beyond and feels the affection and the care of the most purest of beings. We forget maybe sometimes that Baba is the purest of beings and what that means. The home, in the home no soul is ever rejected. It belongs. When I understand this, then there is an attitude of unity, of being inclusive with other souls as well. Because experience doesn't come just by experimenting and practicing. This is the danger that it may become just technical. But true and permanent experience of the divine, of the spiritual, is very, very much connected with the attitude. Technically, yes, I concentrate my thought, but I don't concentrate my thought just with my mind. I concentrate my thought with all of my awareness and with my attitude. Then it's no longer technical. I'm not having technical meditation or just experimenting. I'm really moving into it with all of my being. It's something that happens from all of me, not just my mind, not just my intellect, not just my feelings. But the first step to this attitude of permanent good feelings and love is understanding. I need to understand where Baba is, how he is, and how he is relating to all the souls of this play. And I'm learning this to be the same. Every Brahmin has this. This is why Baba says they are the ancestors. So attitude, very, very crucial in maintaining a positive, a divine spiritual experience. And this comes from my daily attention. It's not something that I just learn it just with a lesson. It's again, I've got to put an attention on it. And two things that are very important in connecting with Baba. He mentions them often. It's purification and liberation. And how do I experience this purification and liberation? Because people often ask this question, how to be free of a weakness that comes again and again. Purification and liberation becomes a reality for the self when there's honesty